Hey, it's Mike, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create a smooth, professional-looking zoom animation sequence with a zoom in, a hold, and a zoom out using iMovie. Let's jump in.
So here we are in iMovie. This is version 10.1.13 running on macOS Mojave 10.14.6. And here in my media browser in iMovie, I've imported this example screen recording I created using QuickTime Player. I'll preview a bit of this so you can see what's going on by just hovering my cursor over the clip and hitting the spacebar to play, so that you can enhance its soundtrack with music, sound effects, and audio filters. To import a video into Garage, and as you can hear, this screen recording contains a voiceover. Now, if you want to know how to make a screen recording including voiceover using QuickTime Player on the Mac, I have a tutorial for that. Link on the screen and in the description below. One thing though I want to mention about this screen recording. I recorded it at 4K resolution on my 27-inch iMac with Retina display. Now, the reason I recorded it at 4K is because I'm going to be zooming into parts of my screen recording here in iMovie. Now, when you zoom into a video, you're essentially magnifying the pixels, which leads to quality loss. Things get blurry and the colors get washed out. To minimize this quality loss, I recorded my screen at 4K. Now, my iMovie project is going to be HD 1080p, a lower resolution than 4K, which means that when I zoom into my 4K screen recording in my 1080p iMovie project, the screen recording will still look relatively sharp. Alright, now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's create our zoom in, hold, and zoom out animation here in iMovie. Now, before I place my 4K screen recording on the timeline and start working on it, I need to do one very important thing first, and that's set the resolution of my iMovie project to 1080p. If I were just to import my 4K screen recording into a new iMovie project and then lay it onto the timeline, iMovie would set the resolution of my entire project to 4K. Because iMovie sets the resolution of your project to the resolution of the first video clip placed on the timeline. But that defeats the purpose of what I'm trying to do. I want my project to be 1080p so that I can zoom into my 4K screen recording and maintain detail and sharpness. So to set my iMovie project to 1080p resolution, I'm going to place this 1080p clip from my media browser as the first clip on the timeline. Now don't worry, we can delete this clip later. Now I'll put my 4K screen recording onto the timeline. Then I'll delete this first 1080p clip. So let's check the project settings. I'll go way over here and select Settings, and you can see, even with my 4K resolution clip on the timeline, the project is still set to 1080p resolution. Perfect. Alright, let's create the zoom animation. So the first thing I'm going to do is scrub through the clip to find the spot in my screen recording where I want my zoom in to start. I'm going to start the zoom in just before the cursor moves up to the top menu here in the screen recording. So I'll select the clip, then right-click on that spot and select Split Clip, or I can use the keyboard shortcut Command-B. Alright, now we have two clips. So the beginning of this second clip is where I want the zoom to start. So next, I'll scrub through and find the spot where I want to be zoomed back out to full screen, the end of the animation sequence. That spot will be just before this big video window opens in the screen recording. So I'll select the clip at that spot, then right-click and select Split Clip. So now we have three clips on the timeline. This second clip is where all the zoom animation is going to happen. To perform the zoom animation, I'm going to use iMovie's Ken Burns effect. So with my second clip selected, I'm going to go up above the main viewer and select the crop tool. And from these style choices, I'll select Ken Burns. And here in the viewer, I get these two boxes. And you can see these boxes are labeled. We have the start box and the end box. Now these boxes designate the starting framing and the ending framing of the Ken Burns zoom. So I want my zoom to start with my video full screen, so I'll leave the start box as is. I want my zoom to end up here, kind of magnifying the file menu area and the Finder window when it opens. So I'll select the end box and click and drag it into position. And I'll adjust its size by clicking and dragging these corner handles so that the frame encompasses the area I want to zoom into. That's good there. So my zoom is going to start full screen, then end up here magnifying this area of the screen. So when things are set, I'll go over and select this check mark to apply my adjustments. Let's play this back to see what we've got. So we start in the full screen shot in the first clip. Then we cut to the second clip and we start zooming in. Now the zoom is too slow, and as we approach the end of the zoom, which is the end of the clip, it just cuts to the third clip, which is a full screen shot. So we get this confusing jump cut. Not exactly what I want. At the start of this second clip, I want to start zooming into the screen, then hold the frame for a few seconds, then be zoomed back out to full screen by the end of the clip, and then cut to the full screen shot over here. Now, unfortunately, I can't control the Ken Burns effect that precisely. There's no way of stopping it. There is no keyframes you can use to control the effect. It performs the zoom over the course of the entire clip it's applied to, and that's it. However, there is a way to get around this limitation to get the result that I want. It just requires a couple more edits and a few tweaks to the Ken Burns effect. Watch closely. So back on this second clip, I'm first going to go to the spot where I want the zoom back out to the full screen shot to start. And that's going to be just after the Finder window disappears. And I think that's right around here. So I'll make sure the clip is selected, then I'll right-click on that spot and split the clip again. Now we have 4 clips. Now watch what happens when I play back this third clip created from the split. It plays the same Ken Burns effect as the second clip. So now I have 2 clips with the same Ken Burns effect happening. Okay, follow me here. I'm going to select this third clip with the Ken Burns effect on it, then go back up and select the crop tool. And you can see Ken Burns is activated. And beside the Ken Burns button is this button with spinning arrows. This button swaps the start and end areas of the Ken Burns effect. I'll select the swap button. And you can see the start frame and end frame have switched places. Let's play this clip. And you can see the zoom has been reversed. So I'm zooming out from the magnified area to the full screen framing just before it cuts to the next clip, which is also full screen. So we get a nice match cut, which is what I want. Let's play back what we have so far. So we start with a full screen shot in this first clip. Then we cut to the second clip and start a rather slow zoom in. And as we make our way to the end of the zoom and the clip, we cut to the third clip with our reversed Ken Burns effect, which abruptly begins zooming back out to full screen. And then we match cut to the fourth clip and continue on. All right, we're almost there. So we have the zoom in happening on the second clip. And when it's done, it cuts to the third clip, which abruptly zooms back out. Well, that's not what I want. I want it to zoom in, then hold for a few seconds, then zoom back out. So to create that hold on the zoom in, I'm going to go to the spot where I want the hold position to start. And that's going to be right as I select Open Movie in the File menu. So I want to be parked on this zoomed in position right at this spot. Okay, making sure the clip is selected, I'll right-click or control-click that spot, and from the menu, split the clip. Alright, if I play this new clip created from the split, you see, like before, we have the duplicated Ken Burns zoom in effect. So we have two clips with the same zoom in move. Alright, watch carefully. I'm going to select this new clip, which is now the third clip on the timeline. Then I'll go up and select the crop tool, and we see the Ken Burns effect is applied to this clip, and we can see in the viewer our start and end frames for the zoom. Now the start frame is the full screen shot, and the end frame is the zoomed in position. Now watch carefully. I'm going to swap the start and end frames again by selecting the swap button. And now the Ken Burns zoom on this clip is going to start in the zoomed in position and end in the full screen framing. Here's the secret sauce. With the start frame selected, I'm going to go up to the Style menu, and beside the Ken Burns button, I'm going to select Crop to Fill. Crop to Fill is going to crop the screen to this start frame. Watch. And now if I play this clip, there's no zoom. It holds on that zoomed in start framing for the entire clip. Alright, let's play this entire animation sequence. So we start in the first clip, which is the full screen shot of the screen recording. Then we cut to the second clip, which is the zoom in animation. And then we cut to the third clip, which holds on that zoom in position. And then we cut to the fourth clip, which is the zoom out, and then it match cuts to the fifth clip and continues on. You can see what's going on.
Now, the technique that I showed can be used for more than just screen recordings. You can use it for photos or video footage. Just try to make sure that the photos or video footage that you do use with this technique is a higher resolution than your project settings, so that when you do zoom in, you can maintain some quality. Speaking of quality, if you're looking for more quality iMovie tutorials, have a look at these tutorials on my channel. I show you some great editing tricks. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.